So it's a really pleasure, and it's a privilege for me and for my students to invite you again one more time. And in the background, I think you have a lot of trees. I think in Wangari Mataya, Wangari Mataya,
Yeah.
we learned about this great lady in our class 10. So students heard about the Green Belt movement. So now we witness the Green Belt movement in your back.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually in the village, and in the village is always green. It looks nice.
Yes.
You can see the cows there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. So I love it, and it is actually a pleasure meeting you guys
Yes.
virtually.
Oh yeah. So shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet your students.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Sir, my name is Lohita Girija. I am a ninth grader. Would you allow me to ask a question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Why is handwriting important in life?
Wow. Handwriting is important in life in so many ways. Number one, because it is a creative thing. To be able to have a good handwriting that someone can look and say, wow, you've written beautifully. It must be connected to art. It is artistic. So, it builds your brain artistically. It makes you to be a creative person. And also, it gives you the power to communicate well. Because when you have good handwriting, it means someone will be able to read what you have written. And when someone is able to read what you have written, it means you've communicated. And also, here in Kenya, one of the subjects that we teach for languages, it's like a composition where you write a story. We award the students 2 points by writing good handwriting. So it also improves their grade. So as I've said, it helps you to improve your grade. It builds your mental creativity in a creative way. And also it helps you to communicate well. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
later on, sorry,
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
on when you expand on handwriting, it is a skill that as opposed to just typing in the computer where you can get different fonts that you want, now with your handwriting is like your fingerprint, because it becomes unique and it identifies you or about who you are. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
My name is Meghana. I am an 8th grader. Here my question is, what is the most important goal of handwriting?
Wow. The most important goal of handwriting is to be able to communicate. I'm sure at some point, maybe when you're in class, a teacher can point out and say, you have a good handwriting, or tell another student, like, your handwriting is not good, improve on it. It means interacted with your teacher well, because you write down and the teacher will use your book poorly, as I can say, like not in a good way. Your teacher will be offended, and the teacher, it might change the mood of your teacher, and the teacher might not look keenly on what you've written. And someone who will have written in a very good handwriting, the teacher first of all will be impressed. You see, the teacher will be happy. So whenever the teacher is going to look at what the person has written, it means he or she is going to award that student generously in some way. Yeah. And also another thing, the main goal of having a good handwriting is also, it builds your self-esteem, because you you are kind of like proud of yourself. When you're even taking your book for marking, how do you take your book? Like, oh, teacher, look at what I've written. So you become friends with your teacher. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Mamata. I am a 6th grader. Can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
How does handwriting benefit students, sir?
Aha. Now, handwriting actually has a lot of benefits. First, number one, when you're writing with your hand, it's like you coordinate all your arm, your fingers, your arm to the biceps, all that coordinate with your brain to be able to write a good handwriting. Okay, and when you do that, you get a good flow in your hand, as opposed to if you are just using AI to type, like you can speak and your computer writes down, and then you use the computer to give it a command to print, and you pick that information. You of course, technology will have aided you to do a lot of stuff, but now what handwriting does, it gives you that proper coordination from your brain. It becomes you yourself doing that work. And also, when you're able to write, because when you're talking about handwriting, you are writing each and every time. So when you're able to write, it means your brain will become active all the time. For example, nowadays we have old people who have smartphones, but they have the numbers of their buddies, their friends in their mind. They are not saved in the phone. That is the same thing that a handwriting is going to do to you. You're going to write, and it's like walking. You'll never forget how to write well. And when you never forget how to write well, or how to write, it means it's your brain that you are building. And remember, when you are writing, when you're writing, you tend to improve on your spellings as well. When you type and you have something like a autocorrect, you might want to write the name class when you're writing CL, and the computer feeds everything and you press enter, you move on. Now with handwriting, when you're writing using your hand, there's nothing like autocorrect. So it means your brain is always active. You remember a lot of things, and you become a complete person when it comes to learning.
What do you say about this practicing the handwriting? Do you think that practicing handwriting can improve a person's handwriting tremendously? Do you think that?
I agree. Actually, one thing that I've learned as a teacher, and I always tell my students, is practice makes perfect. And obviously, when you start practicing, you will not see the difference immediately. So I advise my students not to give up. We need time to learn. You see, like for example, the athletes that we've seen topping the world. If you realize how many times they have tried for them to perfect to be that good, it is actually like all their years, all their life, they have been doing that. For example, someone who is an athlete for a marathoner, they practice a lot, even when they are at their peak and they know they are going to face some stiff competition, they have to practice. So practice makes a lot of perfect. And it is always good to be proud of the little steps that you are making as a student. And it is always good to do little by little as you monitor closely what you are gaining. And with that, you'll be amazed on what you can be able to do. And even if you try to copy someone to have the same handwriting, you will not get the same one, but you'll come close to that, because handwriting, as I said, is like your fingerprint. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. Sai Surya, over to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sai Surya.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine,
Hello,
thank you.
sir. Could you please tell us about creative art?
Creative art. That is actually a wide topic, but I'm going to talk of what I do in creative art. I teach my students journalism, and that includes about collecting news. I teach them about what is news, the types of news, sources of news, where they can get news. I teach them camera work. I teach them how to record good pictures and how to put the pictures into the computer and edit them. I know nowadays you know about editing, like trying to polish the pictures, making them look good, joining them, combining them, removing the bad pictures, putting good sound, removing the bad sound, to make a story flow. I do that because myself, I'm a journalist, and it's easy for me to teach them what I do every day. I believe if you are it is easy for you to teach someone about football when you are a footballer, or dancing when you are a dancer. So a creative art is wide. It involves dancing, it involves singing, playing an instrument, but what we do is journalism. Maybe next time when we have a call, I will expand more about what my students do, and I'll also have one of my students who is doing who is a journalist working with Deutsche Welle for Germany.
Oh,
yeah.
So that means she should be proud of you as a teacher, because you yourself made the girl, and now she is doing a fantastic job in Germany. So
most important feature of handwriting. Number one, it has to be readable. That is the number one thing. Even if you write big letters or small letters, as long as they are readable, well arranged, that is the number one thing, because you are writing for someone to be able to read, or even for you yourself. When you're copying notes, when you have gone back at home, you are with the book, you'll be able to read. That is the most distinct. That is the biggest feature that is looked into when you're doing handwriting. But also another feature that myself I look keenly is how you're dealing with the curves, because you know when you're writing, you have to let your hand move like a fluid, and when your hand is moving like a fluid, it has to have those good corners, not sharp corners. Okay. And the tails of the letters, how far they move. Some people actually exaggerate. They can write like letter Y and take the tail down, and it crosses the lines on the pages. Yeah, it can sometimes look bad, but it also depends on what you're trying to achieve. You can do that as a skill, but as I said before, the most important feature is you should be able to read. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
My name is Jeshna Likta. I would like to ask one question, sir.
Go ahead.
What sort of technology you use in your classroom?
Aha. So I know most schools have a lot of technology, sophisticated technology, but we actually use the basics. Number one, we try as much as possible to ensure that every student can access a computer. Okay, we don't have a tablet or like laptops. We have desktop, but it is a computer. That is one technology that we use. We also use a video camera, and the reason why we use a video camera is because we want to build the students' self-esteem. You know, many people fear, even big people fear speaking in front of the camera. So we introduce the camera at an early stage of our children. So by standing in front of the camera and being able to speak confidently, we know we are building their self-esteem. We also use a voice recorder to record our lessons. Like for example, when you are doing storytelling, we use the voice recorder and then we go listen to it, because we are using it to train students how to read. Yeah, so we're using a voice recorder, a camera, and a computer.
Okay, wow. Job, I have a question. Along with the academic subjects, do the students learn all these features as a part of their curriculum? That means, do they learn the handwriting class, and do they attend the creative artwork class, and do they attend all these things? Really amazing. Could you please tell us?
Actually, we have a lot of subjects. You're talking about secondary school or primary? We have primary,
secondary. Yes, okay.
Secondary school.
Yeah.
Secondary school. Our students learn 14 subjects. They are introduced to 14 subjects at the beginning, and they end up dropping them. So by the time they sit for their final exam, they are only examined 8 subjects.
Okay.
So the compulsory subjects are like maths, English. We have Kiswahili that is our national language. If you heard about Jambo,
yes,
habari yako, yeah. We have chemistry, biology, we have physics, we have geography, all those. We have religious studies, we have Islamic, we have Hindu, and also Christian. Yeah. So those are actually the sad. I'm sure I haven't matched all those, but now the creative part, whatever I teach, it is not part of the syllabus. The students are not examinable.
Yes.
They're not examined, and also I myself, I also don't give them like an exam, because it is like it is a life skill for those who want to join my group.
Yes.
I just give them for free. There are those who are there just to pass time. There are those who are there to interact. Those who come just at what we do, and also those who are there and they aspire to be like journalists in future. But handwriting, I push. I ensure that I've pushed everyone to be able to try their best, because at the end of the day, everyone who's in the school is required to write down. So I insist everyone must try and do their best.
Yes, Job, do all the secondary schools across Kenya have the handwriting instructors?
No, actually, very, very few. You know, it is always assumed that once you move from primary school, you join to high school, now you are focused on your career. If you
Yes.
want to be a doctor, now you are able to choose and do chemistry and biology and that stuff. So it is not taken in keenly.
Yes, that's what exactly happening in India also. We're prioritizing the core subjects rather than these co-curricular subjects. But for me, I think handwriting is one of the very important concepts and subjects students must learn, because this is where the students, as you know, that the handwriting makes a lot of difference, as you have already shared the very important insights of handwriting. Myself lost many marks because of my bad handwriting. So, so I always regret, actually. Many times I regret because of my bad handwriting. So, Farina, over to you.
Sorry?
Yeah, one more student.
Hi, sir. How are you, sir?
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Hi, sir. My name is Farina. I'm a student. I'm from Z.P.H.S Ilavaram. Shall I ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
What schools are popular in Kenya? Private or public?
Okay. We have different schools, and many are popular in different ways. We have those that are private school. They are privately owned, and they are good because they're popular because they have good facilities to a level of international level. Yeah, they have enough learning facilities, recreational facilities, boarding facilities. Even when their diet is good. And we also have some schools that are also popular because of sports. They produce excellent sports people, like athletes, basketballers, volleyballers, and most of the students get out of those schools and join the national teams in respective areas. And we also have schools that are popular academically. And what happens is the government tries to equip schools around so that when exams get out, we have students from all regions doing well. Yeah, just to mention a few, we have schools like Alliance Girls. It's a very good school, a public school. We have Strathmore, that is for private school. Yeah.
So that means the
Thank you,
parents they prefer these schools as per the needs of the students. Am I right?
Yeah, sure.
And so total population wise in Kenya, all the parents vote for private schools rather than the public schools. Am I right?
Yeah. Okay. Also, when you move from primary to secondary, students have to sit for a national exam. And when they pass, depending on their performance, they are selected to certain schools. So those good schools will take the best.
Yes.
So if you perform poorly, chances are you'll end up in not a very good school.
Yes.
Now, another reason why parents might prefer a certain school over another one is school fees. Parents choose some schools over another different schools is because of the region where they're located. Because if a school is like 300 kilometers away, your child will have to travel for like 6 hours to go there. Yeah, and most parents will prefer their children to be closer to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means as per their needs, students they join. But overall, private schools are more popular in Kenya.
Yeah, sure, of course.